Dear students, hope you are fine by the grace of Almighty. In today's video, I want to discuss about circle. First of all, definition of circle. A circle is a set of points lying at a constant distance from a fixed point. The constant distance is called the radius and the fixed point is called the center. Now, let's talk about center. By definition, the fixed point is the center of the circle. Let's draw a circle with a fixed point O. Here, O is the center of the circle by definition. Now the radius. By definition, the constant distance from the center to the edge is called the radius of a circle. If we draw a line from the center to the circle or edge of the circle, then you will get the radius of the circle. Here, OM is the radius of the circle. Now, let's discuss about circumference. By definition, circumference is the outer edge of a circle, that is also called the length of the circle, or you can say the distance around the edge is called the circumference of a circle. If you want to calculate the circumference, then you can apply the formula C is equal to multiplied by pi multiplied by r, that means radius of the circle. Here r is the radius of the circle, pi is an irrational number whose value is 3.1416. Now let's come to know about a chord. The line segment whose endpoints are any 2 points of that circle is called a chord of a circle. Let's think P is a point here and Q is another point on the circle. If you draw a line segment between P and Q, then PQ would be the chord of the circle. There are numerous chords in a circle. Now let's talk about a chord or an arc of the circumference. If we cut Q to R Then QR would be the arc of the one of the arc of the circle. If you try to measure the arc distance where theta will be measured in degrees, then you will apply the arc is equal theta by 360 degrees multiplied by 2 pi r. Or if you cut 360 by 2, then you will get 180 degrees. That's why the formula would be like theta by 180 into pi r. Here, this area is called r. These are one of the radius and OR is another radius. S is the arc that we are trying to measure. Now, let's talk about diameter. The distance from the east to edge through the center of the circle. In another word, the width of a circle is called the diameter. If you try to draw a diameter of the circle, then we can draw it like this. This is the diameter of the circle. M. A, B is the diameter of the circle. Remember, diameter is 2 times of the radius. In another word, you can say radius is equal diameter by 2. Now, let's come to know about segment. The area inside a circle enclosed by an arc and a chord is called the segment of the circle. Just think. PQ is an arc, whereas PQ is the chord of a circle. That's why this area is under this arc and this chord PQ. That's why we can say this is a segment. This area is called segment of the circle. Yeah, this is segment where it is an arc and this is a chord. Now let's know about sector. The area by an arc and two radii is called the sector of the circle. If it is the fraction of a circle. Here in this figure you can see QR is an arc and OQ and OR is the two radius of the circle, and the area which is under two radius and one arc is called the sector of the circle. If you want to know the area covered here, then you will apply the formula. The area is equal theta by 360 degrees into pi r square, where theta is the angle produced by QR arc. This, let's think YZ is the tangent of the circle. Remember, a tangent can only touch one point of a circle. Now let's come to know about a second line. A line segment that intersects a circle at two distinct points is called a second line. Let's draw a line that intersects the circle. Then we will draw it like this. Here you can say CD is the second line of the circle. About a semicircle, the portion of a circle intersected by a diameter is called semicircle or a half circle. Here you can say AB is the diameter of the circle, and this diameter divides the circle into two equal parts. That's why if you think one of the, then it is half of the total circle.